Hi, everybody. I just came in from outside. My hair's all windblown. I'm a little sunburned, but you're going to see why. This is Beth Maitland at Drama Queen Bee Quilt Studio, and we're taking a little day off quilting to do our first phase of our huge succulent project. In my first vlog, or second, I think first, I don't know, one of my early vlogs, I mentioned that my daughter and I are looking around everywhere for a multi-layered fountain, and we're not going to use it. It's Southern California, water's scarce. We're not going to use it for a fountain. We're going to fill it with succulents because my daughter is obsessed and she is the queen of all succulents. So today, we just came in from completing the major plantings around the fountain area. I wish I had a picture of what it looked like before we started. What do they always say in projects? You're always supposed to take a picture first, and I didn't. It was a little area of our side drive that was full of old, desperately clinging to life, weedy, old plantings from before I moved here. And I had brought irrigation in and tried to save them and trim them and tried everything, and they just were not thriving. And so I pulled them all out and decided what we were going to do with that area is make a little sitting area and make a little pedestal and put a fountain on it, and my daughter could fill it with succulents. So we looked and looked, and because of COVID, there are a lot of manufacturing issues because of close proximity and all kinds of things. So the suppliers that in our area are bringing in things like outdoor pottery and planters and landscaping items. It's not a high need kind of item. So they're 6 to 8 months behind. So I thought I would order something online, and that didn't work out very well either because they also were 6 months out, and shipping it here would get to my gate, but not, it would be too heavy in pieces, trucking, and I don't know. So it was pretty complicated. How can it be that complicated just to redo a little area of your yard? So we decided that, as usual, we would take matters into our own hands and be resourceful. So there was a big sale at our garden center over the weekend, a spring planting sale. So we were able to gather all the incidental things that were not the fountain and get busy. I bought 20 bags of bark, which I personally spread myself and unloaded. And we bought pots, and we bought little pieces of travertine to set some pots with feet on. And we bought some succulents, but my daughter went around and harvested throughout our yard all of these fantastic little babies that have been growing over the winter, I guess. It's not really winter in California, but have a bunch of the things we've already planted have already had babies, so we harvested a bunch of those. And she did her favorite thing, which is decorating all of the plantings, making arrangements in all of the pots. So I have wandered around the yard, showed pictures of, you guys had asked for pictures of my dogs. And so there's dogs helping out in several of the little videos I'm about to give. And I'm going to sort of voice over these videos. So, and sort of tell you what we were up to and give you a little tour of some of the other little pots that my daughter has done with succulents, some of the other areas that she has filled with color and growing things with hardly any water. And most of the stuff we bought beginning plants and then spread them all out. Neighbors, we trade with neighbors who also love succulents and natural California plantings. We live right down the street from a native garden where every plant in the garden and the walk area and the horse trail, everything in there grows native to California and is drought tolerant and low maintenance. And so we're so fortunate to have a lot of resources around us. So that's what we've done. We've been resourceful. So I'm going to switch you right over into these videos of me showing you the area, kind of the progress. And then I finished with a final video this morning when we walked away of how it is right now, before the fountain, before the completion of the central focus of the whole little area, but you'll get the idea what we've been working on. And so that's why I have been not vlogging for the last couple of days, because we've been working outside all this, like a 4-day weekend of working outside. So anyway, this is what we've been up to, catching you up. And so stay tuned, and I will narrate what I'm showing you. So here we go. The succulent project part 1. Okay, this is our little workstation, and these are some of the plants we bought, and almost everything else that we're using. See, there's some pots in the background. There's other places that you'll see in just a few minutes, but almost everything else we're using, we gathered from around the yard. So this is our sitting area with things in place. We've already placed the travertine and the 2 new beautiful pots with feet. I had one of the benches, but we went and bought on sale. This is the bench I had. We bought the duplicate of it at our local garden center. So we bought the second mirrored image right across the little space. And you can see the pedestal in the center. We made a little foot path around the circle. Hi, Emmy, and hi, pups. And we spread some little river rocks in it. We made a little platform, and our neighbor had an old slab of cement that he brought over with his tractor and placed it for us, and that's going to be the base of the fountain. Emmy's working hard now, starting her first arrangement, and I had already by now spread some of the bark, so you can see that several bags of bark have been spread, but I still have about maybe 6 or 8 to go. But that's the these are little we've divided everything up and sort of we're not making them exactly duplicates, but we're kind of spreading out all of the little bits to get a little bit of color in every pot. This is her first layout of kind of what is going to go in that pot. Split up some jade plant. There's all kinds of, we're trying to get some color. We got a little purple, we got a little red, we got a little pink, some bright green, some blue green. These are pots we've been growing other places on the property that we pulled over. And again, she's kind of, this is our little pedestal pot. This is, I think she's almost getting around to the end here in this video on the very first pot. And she just loves making these arrangements. And you'll see shortly, I'll walk you around and take a look at some other places. We spend a lot of our time outdoors. Hi, Emmy. And there's the horses in the background. Oh, I asked her what she likes about succulents, and she said everything. Anyway, we spend a lot of time outdoors because we live in a little village that is considered to be one of the most temperate spots in all of the United States. It has a very, very average temperature. I want to say it's something like 72 is the mean temperature throughout the year. It doesn't mean it's 72 in the winter, and it doesn't mean it's 72 in the height of summer, but that's about the middle ground. Here's another little sitting area nearby under a couple of oak trees, and this little sitting area includes a couple of her arrangements as well. That is a little tiny one and a little pathway to a little area where I took some stumps. We had to take out a couple of dead trees, and I made them into a little arch with dried grapevines and threaded the 2 stumps together with an arch, put a little scavenged bench underneath it, but all through the roots, everything I pulled out, I would drag the roots over and put in a pile at the end of each stump. And we hid little succulents, tucked them away in all these little areas filled with seagrass and succulents and things that don't need a lot of water. And we have another little sitting area just outside the quilting studio, and Emmy has been great about planting a few little cute, colorful arrangements there as well. And she just can't stop when she gets started. So she took over my entire back deck. And she has pots and a little nursery. She has all these flats full of little leaves she breaks off until they root, and she's got all these little babies growing to make these micro miniature. Our friend Juan brought us these little pieces of pottery to decorate some of her decorations, her little arrangements. Anyway, this is a version of it with most of the soil planted. This is last night when we quit. We weren't quite finished with the front 2 little red pots along the driveway sidewalk. But I moved around some. All of our lighting in the yard is all solar. We're trying to be really conscientious about making sure that we don't
use extra water or extra power that we don't need living in California. We're really fortunate. Oh, this is just, I had to show you this. The first ladybug sighting of the season. This is back in we have a little fire pit we also made last summer. And we also sodded a little tiny patch of grass for our dogs. There's no grass on my little acre, my wee acre, except one little patch back here by the fire pit, because we wanted a place for the dogs to be able to roll around and scratch their backs. So everything is herbs and fragrant plants. My talented sculptor friend Laura Wamsgans made this little kitty for me, and there's my one patch of grass. Aggie is pacing my one little patch of grass, and here's Emmy finishing up the second large pot. Again, she just loves doing these, planting the babies, growing babies from all over the yard, and tucking them away in these little tiny arrangements that are like little miniature forests. We've been having so much fun getting fresh air and a little sunshine. There's Buster. I didn't tell you the names of all the dogs. Buster's the little white rescue buddy in the foreground. He's Jack Russell and cattle dog mix. And behind, approaching, is my beautiful puppy. This is Aggie, Scottish Deerhound Aggie. And you saw Rango a little bit earlier. And little Rango's an Aussie. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of our project. I hope you enjoyed our little spiel. This is just a little closing clip of some of the area of my deck that she's taken over to grow a whole bunch more little arrangements and growing babies. It's her little succulent nursery. And I want to thank you so much for joining us for our little tour today of our Succulent Project Part 1. This is Beth Maitland with Drama Queen Bee Quilt Studio. Go be creative today. Plant something, grow something, or make something. Thank you again so much for joining me. And I'll be back in a few days with another vlog. All the very best. Be well.